On today's episode of The BAM Show, we're going to talk about the catch, reminisce a little bit, the cap space, we got some carryover, and the All-Pros. Were there any snubs? Mike, you ready to get to the BAM Show, baby?
You damn right.
What's going on, 49er faithful to the mother-loving Bay? What's good, everybody out there? It's your boys, D-Wayne Breezy, Mike Andrews in the building from Nothing But Niners, and we're here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and go ahead and click on that join button. Become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. Take advantage of all the cool perks. We already know that you help support the stream. Mike, it's Friday. No more face-off Fridays because there's no more football. Like, you know what I mean? So we're going to be able to get into some other topics with the San Francisco 49ers. How you feeling on today, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I guess we keep the face on, you know. Feeling a little bit better than I was feeling yesterday. Sinuses are clearing up just a little bit. Still got a little congestion and stuff going on. But, you know, another day and another step in the right direction. And the 49ers, you know, our team is doing some things that have got me, they've piqued my interest. Some good news coming out today, so and we're going to talk about all that. So, yeah, I'm doing good.
I'm excited to know, like, you know, as far as the coaching, no updates, you know, no new updates. But I will say that the Miami Dolphins did fire their special teams coordinator and their passing game coordinator and wide receiving coach, Wes Welker. Any thoughts on probably like, I mean, how you feel about those guys being released? Is it actually a special teams coordinator released? Like, should we think of should I look up and see what the hell they were ranked last year, or
I wouldn't waste time doing it, because if things go according to plan, Brandon Ayuk should be back, and if I'm not mistaken, there was like a rift. There was like a little bit of beef between Ayuk and
We need to figure out what that beef was, because I don't remember the beef. It was a rift, but what was it? Like,
I thought it was more of like a coaching thing. Like he just thought that Ayuk wasn't him. Like he was pushing him harder. He wanted more out of him, which could be that doghouse that we talk about. You know, we talked about on the last show how. Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. We talked about on the last show how the guys don't really develop once they get on the field. It's what happens when they're off the field. And so those limited snaps and reps and all that stuff, making him work his way into the lineup, I think that's kind of, you know, what it is. So
I want to know how to, Mike, is there a way we could look up like special teams rankings while I congratulate? Peachy, thank you for this. He says, congratulations to the channel for reaching 6K subs. Thank you, everybody, for helping us right here on the Wayne Breezy channel get to 6K. We are here officially. Let's keep the numbers going up, man. It's the off season. You know how it is. It's going to be slow times, but we're going to bring you all the great content. All right. So thank you, Peachy, for that. Road to 7K. Here we go. Underway.
So I could tell you that the field goal percentage, Dolphins were
overall.
I mean, that's all encompassing, because it's you got kicking, you got kickoffs, you got returns.
I understand
punting.
that, but I'm asking, is there an overall category saying that who had the best special teams, combining all of those different things? Like, that's what I'm asking. Because you got it for defense, you got it for the offense, but for the special teams, it's like so many other parts, like kicking, punting. I feel like their kicker was better than our kicker, right? And field goals.
Oh, yes.
Like Jason Sanders, right? So, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, like, overall, like, how.
So this is an article here that has
I don't feel like
special teams rankings. And number 1, they have the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2, Chiefs. Number 3, Jaguars. Number 4, Chargers. Number 5, Eagles. Number 6, the Browns. Titans. Let me just go ahead and find the Dolphins.
Do they have all the teams in there, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I'm at 14. There's Atlanta, 15, Raiders, Buccaneers. All right, Dolphins are at 17.
And we're the 49ers. I'm just curious. They got to be at 27.
Hold on, let me do one of these scrolls. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. God, 27.
Did I call it?
20 freaking 7, man. Wow.
I was just making up the number, but I just felt like 27 just seemed right for the San Francisco 49ers. Like it seemed like that's where we were. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew out there, man. Appreciate you guys.
They were 10 spots better than us. The Dolphins, that is.
So all right, so bump that. I don't need to know any other thing. Mike, do we go after their special teams coordinator?
I mean, why not? Why not? It's got to be better than what we did. I want to see if they did anything special with the returns. Braxton Berrios continued to be one of the best returnmen in the NFL during his first year with the Dolphins. The veteran receiver had his third straight season averaging over 10 yards per punt return and over 23 yards per kick return. That's one thing I do like is when they get one guy to do both. Not all right.
Well, we have a guy. We just don't bring him up.
We don't have a guy that does both.
I think we have a guy that does both. His name is.
Go ahead.
His name is Trent Taylor.
We don't have a guy that does both.
You could get him to do both. Like I think you could get him to do both. I think you should try it. I bet it might be better than everything we've seen. We've been trying running backs back there. We've been trying. I mean, I think you know what it is. The new kickoff rule changed. I felt like changed a lot of things. Not that it made us better or worse. It actually made us worse. But I felt like that, as far as personnel, it changed up things. No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it changed things for everybody, though. So
no, but it really changed things for the 49ers. Like the Niners just look scared, timid, different. Like you could, they just didn't. I don't know.
Posted?
I don't know, but they just didn't look the same. Just on kick returning itself, they didn't look the same. Even though I like the best kick returner we had was Deebo Samuel, believe it or not.
I did like Deebo. I did like Deebo as a special teams guy. Special teams points per game estimated. So Cowboys number 1. All right, this is a different type of list. Points.
I just want to know where the Niners were and where the Dolphins were, and is there a big difference?
It's not looking like it.
Really?
Miami says 0. I don't understand how they're doing this though. There's no site that just like overall great. You know what, Wayne? There you go. We've been doing football for a long time. Maybe this is trademark. Let's get something. Let's put together a ranking.
I have no idea.
That is all encompassing of all the responsibilities that special teams has. Better blocking, points per game, all that stuff.
That's going to be tough to measure though, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? Oh, yeah. This isn't just observe and go. This is having a scale for each individual part of what special teams is, and then combining it and coming up with a point system. Absolutely, it's tough. I tell you what, 32 coaches would like us for it. Well, maybe some of them wouldn't because, then they get exposed as being bad. But
I just want to know, should the Niners are contemplating offering the job to Nick Sorensen, and you got a special teams remember yesterday I was like, or the other day I was like, but there's not any really special teams coordinators available other than Brian Schneider because he was fired. But now you got one fired. Mm-hmm. And if their team was middle of the pack, I would take middle of the pack over the end of the pack.
I feel like the Dolphins were bad. That's why I asked when that article was written, because I really feel like the Dolphins were bad last year in special teams.
It seems like that article was written properly because the Cowboys are ranked first, and they have the best special teams. They have the best return game, best kicking, best punting. They have everything best. So that makes sense.
That's true.
And then they had us bad, so that makes sense too.
Were we bottom 5? Yeah, we were. Okay, that's
Absolutely.
Probably right there. That's accurate. That's
Absolutely.
accurate.
Absolutely.
All right,
let's talk about the catch, man. Today marks the 43rd anniversary of the catch. Joe Montana, Dwight Clark, January 10th, 1982. The game, championship game, Cowboys '81 NFC Championship game at Candlestick Park. I only been to Candlestick Park one time, Mike, in my life, and that was the pick of the stick. So I got to witness history there too. But this probably really set the trademark of historical, magical moments happening. Where the Niners won this game, Mike, 28-27. It was Bill Walsh versus Tom Landry. The 12-4 Cowboys versus the number 2 seed versus the number 1 seed, 13-3 Niners. Mike, this was football, Mike. I feel like we're not getting any of this. We haven't seen this. Cowboys, Niners need to be in championship games, but football's different now, man. I'm just curious to know your takes, your thoughts on this particular catch day. You know, I was one. So
he says I was one. I think the catch. I wasn't born yet, so let me just try to be a little. Let me go back in time here. When there's a team that is like, and I don't even know if this was like a rivalry like that back then. Like I feel like the Cowboys-Niners rivalry was mid 80s, early 90s, right? Like this is early 80s. This is 81. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this, like, if these were two teams that were clashing often and like you were going back and forth and the win-loss records were like you win one, we win one, y'all going back and forth, like this could have been a monumentous moment for either team. Like just we stopped them for the Cowboys, or oh snap, we finally got them for the 49ers. And now, boom, you go out there and you get it on such a important play. And if I'm not mistaken, the defense still had to go back out there and get a stop, right? Like this wasn't that wasn't like the game winner at the very last second, right? Like,
well, so here's the scenario. It was 58 seconds left in the game. The 49ers were 3rd and 3 on the 6-yard line. And the 49ers threw this pass. So, the defense probably had to come back out and close out the game. And the Cowboys were trying, to get into field goal range, I guess, to kick a field goal. But, this was crazy. It came at the end of a 14-play, 83-yard game-winning drive. Like, this is what makes quarterbacking difficult with the 49ers. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because you have a guy like Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Then you have a guy like Steve Young. And then when you look at Brock Purdy, it's like, where are these game-winning drives, dog? Like, that's why a lot of the faithful, especially the veteran seasoned ones, are like, I don't know if Brock is it, man. Like, and you can respect it, right? You got wait. Think about what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that, but I can understand. Like, I feel like it's our duty to kind of show why why Brock may be it or why we feel he's it. But I understand for those that say he's not it, if Brock can't win games like this, regular season games. He's proven he can win the divisional round game. He won the NFC Championship game, but the Super Bowl game couldn't capitalize. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not even about Brock. This is about celebrating the late, great Dwight Clark and the catch. My bad.
So I thought it was going to get a lot worse. You actually did good. I want to commend you for that. You did good. I'll say this. There was, with this play in particular, I heard people talk about how much of a giant Dwight Clark seemed in that moment, right? Because of how high up he had to go get it. And I saw this from a couple of angles, and I was like, he didn't look that big. But there was one angle where it legit looked like it was kind of like from the, I want to say it felt like it was from like the rear pylon, like the back of the end zone. And it legit looked like Montana was launching that joint out of bounds. Like it looked like it wasn't supposed to be caught by anybody.
Like he made the catch. That's why it's called the catch, not
That's
the
why it's called, it's not the throw. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Like it looked like that joint was just going out of bounds to no man's land. Let's live the fight another day, because he was supposed to be throwing the ball to somebody else. He was supposed to be throwing the ball to Solomon, who was supposed to just run out, cut, and get the first down or run out of bounds. And it says here that he scored a touchdown on that same play. And it looked like that. So when Montana rolled out and he wasn't there, it was like, oh, snap, let me just throw it away. That's what it looked like it was supposed to be. So, like, I get it when you hear the whole, like, story behind it. And then you just see, like, oh, my God, like, he really came down with that ball. was beautiful, man.
It was the catch. And here's the crazy part, right? Because the Dallas Cowboys owned the San Francisco 49ers like in the 70s, right? So like they owned the Niners, right? And then the Niners were able to snap that with this win. And it's crazy because I felt like then in the 90s that like the Cowboys came back and they owned the Niners in the 90s until Steve Young snapped that, like, right? And then Cowboys, of course, they won right after we won. So like it's crazy. Like I think that's why like these two teams, the Cowboys, the 49ers, were kind of like remarkably like the gridiron gangs of football. Like that's what an NFC championship game is supposed to be like. There was never a blowout in any of these games. They always came down to somebody making a catch at the end, whether it was Troy Aikman doing something to Alvin Harper. I mean, come on, man. Michael, like that's our era. Like that's what we remember, right? Like so.
Yeah.
These were gritty games, man. They came down to.
And even this game right here, where we scored with 51 seconds left. I'm looking at the closeout here.
58.
They drove. No, well, we got it. We snapped the ball at 58, and then we ended up kicking off. They had 51 seconds.
Yeah, they had 51.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know that if horse collaring was illegal back then, we would have lost this game? Because it says here, it said Pearson had a 31-yard reception in the middle of the field.
True Pearson.
And it was only 10 to 15 yards to reach the field goal range. Field goal range. They said Pearson would have scored had defensive back Eric Wright not made a one-handed horse collar tackle. And then they called the timeout. White took the first snap and was sacked by Lawrence Pillars, fumbling in the process. Jim Stuckey recovered the drop ball, giving the 49ers offense possession near midfield, allowing Montana to take the knee to win the game. Like, how incredible is that? They still almost came back and was almost in field. Like, come on. Oh, that is incredible, man. A fumble. That is, see, the game, we talk about that. We talk about just that one play. Like, we talk about this play, but what happened after that was still just as exciting. Like, just reading that got me hyped. Like, it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, like the defense had to hold off. Like, and again, like going to this year's defense, our defense couldn't hold anything. Like, they couldn't hold anything off, right? Like, it was like, oh, man. Like, that's why we needed to see Brock Purdy get the ball with 20 seconds, find a way to get the ball and, in the end zone, because Jake Moody couldn't kick for giggles, right? Like, so it was just rough like this year. But the catch was amazing, and it marked the end of a team owning us. Let's get to the salary cap, because the Niners, shout out to our SF 49ers, they will have a league leading $50 million. $50 million to carry over to start the 2025. That's Brock's salary right there, right? Like, ain't that's the number, right?
We're sitting here talking about we can't afford nobody this season. We got to base things on Brock Purdy. If y'all don't stop, y'all know Brock Purdy's new contract only gonna cost us $14 million this year, right?
No, this year, correct. This year against the cap for sure. Yeah.
The Niners can do whatever the hell they want this offseason, and y'all just got to deal with it. Y'all got to deal with it, baby. We gonna be all right, baby. We gonna be all right. League leading $50 million in carryover, bro.
Yeah, but the team still
that's
got
not new money.
Better. It's not new money, but the team still got to get better. Like,
why you sound down about it? That's what this allows us to do.
I'm not sounding down about it. I'm telling you that the team got to get better. We got 30-something free agents, and I don't want to bring half of them back. The team got to get better. So what am I sounding down about? The team still, you got $50 million, and whatever you're going to get from the new TV money, Brock's got to get, well, technically Brock doesn't have to get paid. Technically.
That's a dun right there, but that's a whole different beast.
Technically, but because he's a quarterback, and I feel like the Niners are just going to go ahead and get it done, they're going to go ahead and do it. Like, you get what I'm saying? But my issue is, they got to find some key. If free agency, they really need to do a better job at hitting on the free agents that they bring into this team, Mike. And that's why, if I sound down, that's what it is. My concern is them not hitting on their free agents. And we can go back to year one. We'll do a whole show on free agency and the trajectory of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. They just don't seem to be hitting right on the free agents. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not. But you name one free agent that panned out on this team other than name one free agent that panned out on this team. And I'm not talking guys they traded for.
Like someone they signed to this
Yes,
team?
free agents. Yes.
So it depends on what you mean by panned out. It's a lot of loose terminology there.
Can you still name one?
I mean, I think Yatura Gross-Matos had a decent year, and I think he was misused for a lot of the season.
He wasn't misused. He came in injured, he got injured, and then he had to get back right. He did.
I can't name nobody. No, I'm agreeing with you. I can't name nobody.
But I'm not saying that he won't pan out. You get what I'm saying? I think the best free agency was their first year, and they spent a lot of money, and they got Kyle Juszczyk, and he's still here, right? That'd be the main free agent. I see people in the chat saying Pierre Garçon. He came in, he looked good. Yeah,
he played 8 games, y'all.
He hurt his back, right? He couldn't do nothing. Travarius Ward gave us 1 good year.
I think he gave us 2 good years. Richard
1.5.
Sherman gave us some good seasons.
Yep, Richard Sherman. But that's 3 out of how many free agents, bro? It's a lot. And those were big name free agents.
Maybe I might be biased. I think Malik Collins had a good season this year.
Nah.
I think that
him and Jordan Elliott weren't good. They had good games, good spurts. D Ford was good, but it didn't pan out. That's what I'm saying. It's about guys panning out. I'll give Collins and Elliott 1 more year, right? Because they signed, and I'll give Gratos and Floyd. I'll give those guys 1 more year. They signed 2-year deals. You give them 1 year.
I guess I don't know what pan out means because none of these guys got big money, and I think they exceeded the.
Okay, so let's look at the guys that got big money. Did the big money contracts guys pan out?
Hell no, never does. I told y'all don't give that bum behind defensive tackle from the Eagles and Hargrave all that money. I told y'all don't expect no sack master.
He's not the only one that didn't pan out though, because D Ford didn't pan out.
I'm going with the most recent one. Him.
Gotcha.
He's the most recent. And I told everybody that it was gonna be a problem, and they didn't want to listen to me. And they thought, "Oh, Mike, you're crazy, coming from 11 sack season." Okay, all right, you'll see. I said his 11 sack season is exactly what Armstead did 4 years ago when y'all said that was a fluke. You go back and you look at this guy's stats and look at how he plays. It's the same exact shit. And everyone said I was crazy. And then boom, we got the same injury history and all that stuff that we had with Eric Armstead. Same thing. The big money free agents never work out except Mooney Ward. I think this was Mooney Ward's worst season. This one right here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's because I feel like the free agents that don't get the big money, they play roles, and they play their roles well, right? So like they're not.
Right, and that's why I said I wasn't upset with Malik Collins. You know, because it was it's like a role
right,
player.
Right. It's a role, right? And he was a trade though, so he wasn't even a free agent that they signed.
True. That's
Jordan
true.
Elliott was the free agent, number 92. Mm-hmm. He was the free agent. You know what I mean? So like,
you know which one I hate the most?
Nah.
Of all the free agent signings, you ain't gonna. If I gave you 10 guesses, you wouldn't guess. You would probably have to look it up. Weston Richburg.
Oh man, yeah, man, he just couldn't stay.
He was supposed to set us up for the long haul, bro. Did you hear me?
Was that a free agent? Yep, that was a free agent. That was the free agent. Yeah, he was a free agent, and he just couldn't get right health wise. He was the offensive D Ford.
You saw flashes when he was out there. I'm not mad at that.
The flashes
I'm not mad at
were
that at all.
You knew that you had a center that was going to be perfect for the for the outside zone, right? You had the center, but he just couldn't stay healthy to save his life.
There you go. Robbie Gold was one that worked out for us. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, Robbie Gold's a good one.
Robbie
Gold's a good one. Yeah, Robbie Gold's a good one. That's gonna be an excellent exercise when we do that though. Like looking at the free agents. Because we got the first thing that's up to bat is attacking free agency. And as I was going through free agency, I was saying to myself, man, there's some guys, there's some linebackers. You know what I'm saying? God forbid they don't try to bring Greenlaw back. There's some linebackers, Mike, that I think could come in here. There's some good coverage linebackers, PFF released, who they like that the 49ers might want to go after in free agency, a linebacker from Pittsburgh. Just looking at the free agents, there's going to be some guys, and we're going to need as much money as possible, especially if you're looking to, you're probably going to restructure some guys, right? And then you're going to need as much money as possible. I think the Niners get the contract done for Brock Purdy, and then that way they're able to move on to look at some of these other guys, And then obviously they're gonna attack the draft, but free agency is first. Like free agency is first on the docket for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, free agency.
I think before free agency, though, even more important than free agency, Wayne, it's going to sound, I think you'll agree with me, actually, is it's going to be the coaching staff. We got to know the scheme.
I thought that was understood, though.
Yeah, but before we even get excited about free agents, we have to know who we're getting to fit what system and scheme. And so.
Yeah. That's why we're not doing any free agent shows right now. But my point is, we're going to talk about the 49er free agent soon, but we can't even do that because whoever comes in here gets to pick, kind of like decide who they want to bring back, who's going to fit, whatever. So you're right, 100%, 1,000% correct on that, Mike. I definitely agree with you. Let's talk about the 2024 All-Pro Team, Mike. All-Pro Team, you got them right here. First team All-Pro. I want to know if there were any snubs. So you're looking at the offense. You're looking at the defense, special teams, no 49ers or special teams. Niners got one player on the first team All-Pros, right? Fred Warner made the first team All-Pros. Round of applause to linebacker Fred Warner from the San Francisco 49ers. This team is stacked, bro. I want John Madden to make this an all-Madden team. Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Ricard is the fullback this year. Brock Bowers, rookie. Any surprise?
That's crazy.
Okay, we're going to talk. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. All right, the top three receivers. That's crazy. Tristan Wirfs. Let me remove our banner right here so we can see the remaining. Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Quinn Miners, and then Penei Sewell. Is your offense, your defense, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, Cameron Haywood, Chris Jones, Zach Bond, Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, Patrick Surtain II, Derek Stingley Jr., Marlon Humphrey, Kirby Joseph, who led the league in interceptions because he did that in our game, and then Xavier McKinney from the Green Bay Packers, Mike. So, let's talk about it, Mike.
I think it's supposed to be what Niners can we put in here that didn't quite make it or something like that, right? Like, as impressive as a rookie season as Bowers had, I don't think he was better than George Kittle this year. I don't.
Okay.
And you could call that favoritism. I think George Kittle had one of his best seasons. George Kittle was a better overall tight end. Oh, damn. Oh, you got the compare.
So here we go, man. Let's do it, man. Because,
you are a monster. Because you are an absolute monster. I love you, bro. Oh, man.
I mean, I just feel like, it's impressive as a season. Brock Bowers is the number one tight end in the NFL, man. But he was targeted, even in fantasy football, he was killing, man. If you had him on your squad each week, week in and week out, you were good. You know what I'm saying? He played in all 17 games, 112 catches, 153 targets, 1,194 yards, broke that record. I think the record got broken after, did Malik Neighbors end up breaking the record from the Giants? I can't remember.
No, this was rookie tight end, so that was the record. It was specifically tight end.
Oh, I thought it was for a rookie receiving record. My bad. I didn't know it was just for tight ends. I thought it was for receiving. Okay, my bad. 10.7 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. Then you look at George Kittle, 15 games, 78 catches, 94 targets, almost identical in the yards, more yards per catch, and 3 more touchdowns.
Come on.
All right. Man. So I need to get your thoughts, man.
And Bowers ran from blocks. I won't call him out because he's a rookie. Cool, get better at that. But he ran from blocks. Let's stop playing with George Kittle, bro. Let's stop playing with you. And it's cool. Y'all want to give the rookie, because he broke the tight end record, you want to give him some shine. Make him an all-pro.
Wait, They did make him.
I meant to say make him a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, okay. I know.
Come on, man. Yeah, I messed that part up.
I knew you was going.
Yeah, but come on. He was not better than George Kittle this year. At all.
I thought George Kittle was the best tight end in football. All complete, all around.
Absolutely.
Best tight end in football. And to do it at this age at a high level. And I know it sounds like we a homer, but if you ask anybody out there, I think people would be like George Kittle over Brock Bowers. I don't think a lot of people watched
My
Raiders.
uncle's a 49ers fan, and he watches the Raiders, and he was like, yo, this kid is good, but he's getting these numbers because of volume. He was like,
Yes.
we're targeting him like he's a wide receiver.
Correct. They had no choice. They right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like,
sort of like George Kittle his year where he had 1,500 yards, right? Who was our receivers then?
Exactly. And more importantly, the inexperienced quarterbacks target tight ends and running backs the most. That's what they do.
That's their comfort zone.
That's what they do.
Check downs.
Yes. And my
Well,
uncle
not
was,
mad at the check downs, Mike, because I wish we evolved into the check down a little bit more. If your option 1, option 2, option 3 isn't open, just have the check down there. So yeah, you're right, man. 1,000%. You know what I mean? You're right. I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. And so, it wasn't about hating on a young man or anything. Like I said, he deserves some accolades. He deserves the recognition. I'm very proud of him, good job. But what happens is you got to be able to understand why he got those kind of numbers. And I will say this. Over 10 yards of reception is very impressive.
That's really good. That's really
especially
good.
for a tight end. This isn't somebody running 40-yard routes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really, really good. So I was happy for him. But he wasn't better than George Kittle. There is no way on earth he was better than George Kittle this year. It just doesn't exist.
So I just wanted to go over some of the other votes. All right. This is per Matt Barrows. He said other receiving votes, first place votes in parentheses, second place votes, no parentheses. Left tackle Trent Williams got 1 second place vote. Nickelback Diamador Lenore got 5 second place votes and 1 first place vote. Kick returner Deebo Samuel got 2 second place votes. And then long snapper Tabor Pepper got 3 second place votes, 1 first place vote.
So this is going to be my other knock/not knock justified not being there. If I asked you where Diamador Lenore played this year, you would just say secondary, right? You would just say corner.
Well, we can't knock it because that's how they labeled it to start the season.
Right, but that kind of like isolated him from being able to dominate one specific position.
But it also got him paid. So like at the end of the day, like he got his contract, and now maybe there'll be more of a signified role. Are you going to be outside? You're going to be inside. Maybe that's what happens for him moving forward, depending on how they draft. Like, right?
Well, the contract is what told me that they're going to keep using him this way.
Okay.
But I could be wrong because I felt like that wasn't top corner money, but it was also a little bit better than slot corner money. For some reason, slot corners don't get paid as much as the top outside guys. I don't know why it's like that.
Because they're not utilized as much, right? So like a lot of teams might not come out with those 3 wide receiving sets.
Okay.
And
yeah,
so,
okay, that's fair. Because I think playing slot is harder. So in my mind, it's like, why are you giving the guy the harder job, the lesser money? But you're right, as far as usage, so snap count. All right, so I get that. I think Lenore got money in the middle. He got better than slot money, but not anywhere near as good as top corner money. And so the contract told me they're going to continue to use him that way. I think that if they had have just put him in one spot and let him shine the way that he did, he didn't allow a single touchdown this year. Not a single touchdown. And he moved. He moved around. He went on some guys. He didn't necessarily shadow anybody, but there were times in the game where he was playing and he wasn't in the slot, and they put him outside because of who was over there. Like, they just used him sporadically, and Lenore did his thing. I thought Lenore could have, if he was playing at just one position, maybe got enough votes at one or the other. But because he was in both, I don't think it was going to be enough to do it. So I think that was kind of justified as to why he didn't get it. But Lenore is the other one I could make an argument for.
Yeah, I definitely respect it. Respect that 1,000%. Well, guys, happy Friday, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the BAM Show. We truly appreciate you guys. Round of applause to everybody out there. Shout out one more time to the Breezy Bunch crew and all the subscribers out there. I appreciate you guys. Mike, you get ready to send us home. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And make sure you go ahead and become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. All right away. Just click on that join button. Mike, you ready to get up out of here, baby?
Come on, man. Let's do it. We are live all the time, kicking it with the fam, bro. That's Breezy. I'm Mike. This is the BAM Show.